Hello and welcome back to the Peak District National Park, and I'm in the Dark Peak today. I'm actually just above Ladybower Reservoir and I've got a lovely view over to Derwent Edge up there, really characteristic of this part of the Peak District. And I'm going to be heading up a hill that I've never been up before. I'm going up Dovestone Tor and then continuing along the moor to Back Tor and then come back down via Ladybower Reservoir. I think it's going to be about 10 or 12 kilometres. Haven't actually measured the route, that was a complete guess. And I reckon a few hours just to kind of go up and round. The weather is totally different today. Yesterday it was about 20, beautiful sunshine, horrific gale force winds. Oops. Today, a lot more murky. The cloud is covering the tops of the hills. If I get past this post, over there you can see the cloud is down, just covering the summit of Win Hill. It's meant to clear up later. It is better now than it was when I set off. So hopefully I'll get some nice views. Just nipped off the path briefly. It is literally just down by those bits of heather to get to the 372 metre top of Ladybower Tor, which is marked by this little pile of rocks. It could be like an ancient cairn or something like that. It's definitely the perfect place for it. Definitely got a little pile of stones here as well, or it's a really old cairn that's just, you know, got covered in mud and heather and stuff over the years. But for its location, I'm going to say it's probably like a burial mound or something. You can see a nice round feature here, and perhaps another one there, I'm not quite sure, or it's all part of the same thing. There's nothing on the OS map saying that it's a monument, but nice to tick off another little summit. I can see my path ahead. If I should go over here, I can see the path running along the edge of the escarpment here, and then up again into the cloud. Hopefully the cloud's going to lift by the time I get there. And I can see a couple of people. There's 3 actually over there, 2 more further along and another one, so there's plenty of people on this route. I'm only a couple of minutes further along from Ladybower Tor, and the view has really opened up over the whole northern end of the reservoir. I can see some kind of bridge right down at the end over there. You've got the road bridge down here, that would be Win Hill up there behind, but the cloud has come down even further. And then Crook Hill, the Twin Peaks just here, looking fantastic. What an epic view. It's just such a shame that the cloud is dropped even further and it's got even murkier. I might hang out here for 10 minutes just to give the cloud a bit more time to rise up before I start heading up this awesome little pointy peak here. This here is the awesome 481 metre summit called Wheelstones, and clearly is a popular bouldering / climbing area. It looks absolutely fantastic, and that's what's great about this kind of area and this ridge up to Derwent Tor and Back Tor, is that there's so many of these awesome little rocky outcrops that you can kind of have a little explore around or find some shelter. So I'm here now on the really impressive Derwent Edge, and you can see some of the awesome cracks sort of going off into the distance here. And if I turn you around this way, I've got to be a bit careful, I'm on the edge. It stretches out to my right here. It's probably about 1 kilometre long, I think, or maybe not quite, 800 metres, something like that. And I think this big boulder down here is actually the Dove Stone, which gives the Tor its name, and the actual summit of Derwent Tor is just this little pile of rocks up there behind me. So I've just made it to the 538 metre summit of Back Tor, which is the highest point today, and the true point is just up there. I have been up there just now. It's a bit too windy to film, so I thought I'd come down here and get a bit of shelter, maybe have a little snack as well. There's some lovely rock formations, check that out. And then there's some lovely gritstone edges just over here as well, probably good for climbing. Sadly, the cloud has not risen in time. What is the time now? Let's have a look. It's only 11:05. It's meant to rise, giving about 50% cloud-free summits by midday. So hopefully on the way down I'll get some views. On the way up here, I was just touching the bottom of the cloud because I could see down to the Derwent Reservoir every now and then. But I'm gonna hang out here for a little bit and then go over towards Lost Lads. Summit of Lost Lads, and there's actually a nice plaque here that kind of points the direction of certain hills, and the cloud is lifting. I've got a view. It's absolutely lovely. Very vast, open, bleak moorland. I can see the tors that I passed earlier this morning all over there. I think Derwent Edge is probably just out of sight, and I've got a view up to Back Tor where I was just a few minutes ago. Oh, you probably can't see it. There's a curlew flying right next to me over here. You can hear it singing. It's lovely. Bit windy up here. Wind chill is about -5 and it's the end of April. So I'm glad I've got extra layers. And awesome crag over there. That's the curlew flying just in front of me. My descent from here, I'm going to follow this path and I'm going to take a curving path that leads me down a ridge all the way down to the reservoir, and I'm going to follow the reservoir along its edge back round to where I parked. I'm going to carry on because I'm getting very cold just standing here in the wind. Finally made it down onto this long grassy ridge that's going to lead me down to Ladybower Reservoir, and I've got a fantastic view looking back up to Lost Lad, which you can see the pointed peak there, and then just to the right is Back Tor, and you can see the rocky Tor on the summit. And if I pan round, I've got a wonderful view over to Derwent Edge. Absolutely stunning. I've seen quite a lot of people, and I've seen quite a lot of grouse butts. There's one just ahead of me, so this must be a really popular area for grouse shooting. There's one just there, and there's actually one right on the path. Spotted another 2. Check this out. Proper little grouse butt. So those doing the shooting would stand just in here, hidden out of sight. Someone would then scare the grouse and then they'd shoot them. I'm almost down at the bottom of the ridge now. I just passed a little house that's tucked up at about 350 metres above sea level, like right steep on the hillside. It looked amazing, but I've stopped here because it's actually a really good vantage point to see Ladybower Reservoir, but also almost the entire walk for today. You can see Bamford Edge way over at the end there. Obviously I wasn't up there, but the hill just this side of it, that's the first one I went up. I think that's Ladybower Tor, and then I followed the entire ridge all the way along, and I actually can't see the end of it where I got to. Let's have a look. Whoops. That's Derwent Edge up here, which would make Back Tor over at the back there, and the pointed peak right at the end is Lost Lad. So from one end all the way along to the other. So I'm just approaching the A57 now, which is the main road that snakes its way up to Snake Pass, hence the name. And I've got a lovely view looking back. That's the hill that I actually came down. I can just make out the house that I saw, which was halfway up the hill. What a wonderful view. And the road is literally just through this gate. But I want to say thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe if you haven't already, and ring the bell to keep up to date with any videos that I post. And I will see you next week.